the hollowed halls of the Supreme Court, where the air hums with the weight of justice, a moment unfolds that will echo through the annals of legal history. Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, strides into the courtroom with a glint of confidence in her eyes, her heels clicking against the polished marble floor. She's here to argue a high-stakes case, one that's drawn the attention of the nation, a case challenging a controversial federal mandate that split public opinion down the middle. The gallery is packed, reporters scribbling furiously, cameras trained on the scene. Bondi, known for her fiery rhetoric and unyielding demeanor, takes her place at the podium, her tailored suit a stark contrast to the black robes of the justices seated before her. Among them is Justice Amy Coney Barrett, her expression calm, her eyes sharp, betraying nothing of the storm about to erupt. Bondi begins her argument, her voice steady, laying out a case rooted in constitutional liberties, her words slicing through the tension like a blade. She's in her element, commanding the room, her gestures precise, her tone authoritative. The justices listen, some nodding, others scribbling notes, but Barrett remains still, her gaze fixed on Bondi. Then, it happens, a question from Barrett, delivered with surgical precision, probing a weak point in Bondi's argument about the mandate's overreach. Bondi pauses, a flicker of irritation crossing her face, and then, inexplicably, she laughs. It's a sharp, mocking sound, cutting through the silence of the courtroom like a thunderclap. The gallery gasps, reporters lean forward, and the other justices exchange glances. Bondi's laugh is not one of humor but of disdain, as if Barrett's question is beneath her, a trivial interruption in her masterful performance. She follows it with a quip, dripping with sarcasm, suggesting Barrett's query misunderstands the case's core. The room holds its breath, waiting for Barrett's response, the air thick with anticipation. Barrett doesn't flinch, her face remains composed, but her eyes narrow slightly, a signal to those who know her that she's about to dismantle the moment. She leans forward, her voice low but resonant, and begins to speak, each word measured, each sentence a building block in a devastating rebuttal. She reframes Bondi's argument, exposing its flaws with the precision of a scholar and the authority of a justice. She cites precedent, invokes the Constitution, and weaves a narrative that leaves Bondi's position teetering on the edge of collapse. The courtroom is silent, save for Barrett's voice, which carries the weight of truth. Bondi's smirk fades, her hands gripping the podium, her confidence unraveling. Barrett's words are not just a legal argument, they're a masterclass in restraint and power, a reminder of why she sits on the nation's highest court. As Barrett concludes, she fixes Bondi with a nod of anger, but of quiet conviction, and asks a final question, one so incisive it leaves Bondi speechless. The gallery murmurs, sensing the shift. Bondi's eyes glisten, her jaw tightens, and for a moment, it seems she might hold it together. But then, a single tear escapes, tracing a path down her cheek, visible to the cameras, a symbol of her unraveling. The moment is electric, a clash of titans where intellect and composure have triumphed over bravado. Barrett leans back, her work done, while Bondi struggles to regain her footing, her voice trembling as she attempts to respond. The justices move on, but the room buzzes with what just transpired, a moment where laughter turned to tears, where a justice's response redefined the battlefield. Bondi's argument limps forward, but the damage is done. Reporters are already typing, headlines forming in their minds, social media lighting up with clips of the exchange. This is no ordinary day in court, it's a spectacle, a drama, a lesson in the power of words. The case itself fades into the background, overshadowed by the personal clash, the human element that makes this moment unforgettable. Bondi, once the aggressor, is now the one exposed, her laughter a misstep that Barrett turned into a masterstroke. The session adjourns, and as Bondi exits, head bowed, the weight of the moment follows her, a reminder that in the arena of justice, hubris is a dangerous weapon. The cameras follow, capturing every step, every glance, feeding the public's hunger for drama. This is the story that will dominate the news cycle, the moment that will be replayed, analyzed, and debated for days to come. And at its heart is Barrett, the justice who turned a laugh into a legacy, her response a testament to the power of intellect over ego. The aftermath of the courtroom clash ripples far beyond the marble walls of the Supreme Court, igniting a firestorm of reaction across the nation. As Pam Bondi's tear-streaked face becomes the defining image of the day, news outlets seize the moment, splashing headlines across screens and front pages. Bondi's laughter backfires in epic Supreme Court showdown, and Justice Barrett's brilliant takedown leaves Bondi in tears. Cable news pundits dissect the exchange, some praising Barrett's composure, others debating whether Bondi's laughter was a calculated move gone wrong. On social media, the clip of Bondi's laugh and Barrett's response goes viral, racking up millions of views within hours. Memes flood platforms like X, with users captioning freeze frames of Bondi's tearful expression with quips like "when you laugh at a Supreme Court justice and regret it instantly." Hashtags like #Barrett vs Bondi and #Courtroom takedown trend globally, turning the moment into a cultural phenomenon. Legal scholars weigh in, analyzing Barrett's response as a textbook example of judicial restraint paired with intellectual firepower. They point to her use of precedent, her calm demolition of Bondi's argument, and her ability to maintain dignity while delivering a rhetorical blow. Meanwhile, Bondi's supporters rally to her defense, arguing she was unfairly targeted, that her laughter was a human reaction to a tense moment. They paint Barrett as cold, calculating, her response a deliberate attempt to humiliate. The polarized reactions mirror the case itself, with one side hailing Barrett as a hero of justice, the other casting Bondi as a victim of an elitist court. Talk shows invite legal experts and political commentators to rehash the drama, with some speculating about Bondi's next move. Will she double down, or retreat from the public eye? Behind the scenes, Bondi's team scrambles to manage the fallout, crafting statements that frame her laughter as a moment of passion, not disrespect. But the narrative is out of their control, fueled by the raw emotion of that single tire. Barrett, for her part, remains silent, letting her courtroom performance speak for itself. Her colleagues on the bench, though tight-lipped, reportedly admire her handling of the situation, with one unnamed justice calling it a masterclass in judicial poise. The public, however, is less interested in the legal nuances than in the human drama. The clash of two powerful women, the laughter, the tears, the triumph. Online forums buzz with amateur lip readers claiming to decode whispered exchanges between justices, while others speculate about what Bondi was thinking as Barrett's words hit home. The case at the heart of the confrontation, a challenge to a federal mandate, gets lost in the noise, reduced to a footnote in a story about ego and redemption. Yet, for those in the legal world, the moment is a reminder of the Supreme Court's unique stage, where intellect and emotion collide under the scrutiny of history. Bondi's tear becomes a symbol, not just of defeat, but of the stakes in this arena, where a single misstep can redefine a career. As the days pass, the story evolves, with new angles emerging, a profile on Bondi's rise as a prosecutor, a deep dive into Barrett's judicial philosophy, even a think piece on why women in power are judged so harshly for emotional displays. The video of the exchange is dissected frame by frame, with bodied language experts weighing in on Bondi's clenched fists and Barrett's steady gaze. For some, it's a feminist parable, highlighting the double standards faced by women like Bondi and Barrett. For others, it's just good television, a real-life drama that outshines any scripted show. The Supreme Court, often seen as a distant institution, feels suddenly accessible, its justices and advocates humanized by this raw, unscripted moment. Bondi, meanwhile, prepares for her next public appearance, knowing every eye will be on her, waiting for a sign of weakness or defiance. Barrett, back in her chambers, turns to the next case, her focus unshaken, her legacy bolstered by a moment she never sought. The nation watches, debates, and memes, but beneath it all is a truth. In the courtroom, where words are weapons, Amy Coney Barrett proved herself a master, and Pam Bondi learned a lesson she'll never forget. The reverberations of the Bondi-Barrett clash extend into the broader cultural and political landscape, transforming a single courtroom moment into a lightning rod for debate. In the weeks following the exchange, Pam Bondi becomes a polarizing figure, her laughter and subsequent tears dissected as either a bold stand or a catastrophic